Okay. Well, good morning, good afternoon, and good night. I hope that you're doing well, and I hope wherever you are is doing good for you. It's me, it's Paul Carpenter, and today I bring a bit of heaviness, and that's this: you need to learn AI. You just got to. There's no other choice about it. Um, if you don't, you will end up so far behind the curve, folks. And I'm not saying this to be, uh, scary or trying to freak out people, but it's very true. People are coming now to the realization of how fast this thing is learning, how fast this thing is moving, and there's no way to stop it. We've already let the genie out of the bag, as they say, and yeah, if you are not learning AI, if you are not taking a course, if you're not learning how to use all of the different large language models that are out there, um, you need to learn today. You need to start moving towards that direction today. There is this I see it every day, this chasm that is getting larger and larger and larger of people who are either afraid or angry at AI or people who are absolutely involved in it. And AI is going to take over the world. AI has already, on some level, done so. So you need to start getting into AI. There's no other choice here. You might say to yourself, well, I don't need to because I'm an artist, or I don't need to because I'm a writer, but if you just look at some of the things that have happened in just the last week with AI, you'll notice that it's moving at an exponential speed. So you need to jump on this thing, and it's like a train, and the train's already moving. And if you don't do something about it, you're just going to be left behind in a world that is going to be so much further ahead of you. Now, the sad part of this is that those who already have some control over AI, the people who have the information, those people are going to more and more have the power that we don't have. If you look at it in the sense of the way things used to be, and this is why I say don't gatekeep AI, because if you just look, once again, if you look at the way things used to be, and you look at the beginning of human existence, and I like to tell the story. There was a guy who watched an apple fall from a tree and it rolled away. And then over time, through his life, he saw another tree rise up. And then he had a son. And that man then was able to give his son the knowledge that if you plant an apple into the ground, you'll see another tree. And if you do this repeatedly, then you'll have an apple farm, and people who are hungry are going to come to you. They're going to ask you for those apples, and because there was no form of monetary system, they would trade. But the person who would have sheeps would have one less sheep, but they would have a lot of apples. But this person now has apples and sheeps, and then cows, and then chickens, and then before you know it, he had more than anyone else. And this stopped others from being able to either learn it, and they became the gatekeepers. Those gatekeepers are the first kings of this world. And then the second type of control that came into this world were those that had the most powerful weapon, whether it was a sword, whether it was a gun, or whether it was the atomic bomb. And then as we move forward, we start to see that what is more important, what's the thing that everybody wants, is the people who have the most technology and the most information, which is why you see the biggest companies in the world are information-based companies. They do everything to keep you and your attention on TV or on the internet, on their website, because they make money through the advertising dollars that are forced into you all day long. And those people are the billionaires of our world. Soon, those people will be the first trillionaires of our world. And I did this just the other day. If you look at $1 million as just seconds, and you ask for $1 million in seconds, it equals, I believe it was 17 days. And then if you look at $1 billion, it's 31 years, which is mind blowing. And if you look at what Elon Musk has and his wealth, it equals 5,400 plus years. Okay. So there's nothing that we can do about this other than be part of it. And I've written about this in all of my books. I've written about this in the stories that I'm talking about. And they're stories today, but they're going to become reality. And it hurts to know this information. On many levels, it hurts to know this information because I can see what's happening. I'm so involved in reading what's happening at Stanford University, what's happening at MIT, what's happening at DARPA, and it's overwhelming. And we're already overwhelmed with so many things in this world that we can't take the time to learn. And I need you, I'm begging you to learn artificial intelligence, learn large language models, get your business involved. If you have an idea, something that you've been wanting to create, please come to me and I will teach you how to do it. In the last week alone, I've talked to more than 4 or 5 people that have no idea of the power of AI. And I'm talking on very simplistic terms here, folks. Very simplistic terms. Like, oh, I use ChatGPT, but I only do it for writing. Or I use this other large language model, but I don't really understand how much it can do. So if you just look at the most popular, which is ChatGPT, and you just take the time to look at what they are doing, you can see how much they're integrating everything. They just integrated Canva into ChatGPT. And everybody here is making little images, and they're all jealous of somebody else who has the images. And they're like, why don't I get in it? I don't know how to do it. I can't prompt correctly, or it doesn't come out as good as this one, or mine looks exactly the same as the other person's. Why can't I have one that's like mine? Which is why I'm going out of my way every single day to try and personalize them, to try and create some form of identity. Because what happens with the overall concept of ChatGPT and all the large language models and AI is that we become homogenized. We become all the same. And we end up not having our own artistic thing anymore. Because, I mean, look at just now, Kling just put out something called Kling Part 2. And it is absolutely, you cannot tell the difference between somebody who spent hundreds of thousands of dollars, millions of dollars to make a commercial and what somebody can make now by just prompting the right way, by putting in a couple images. It's mind-boggling. And there's the same thing with the audio apps where you can make songs and you can make videos, you can make pictures, you can do anything. I just got onto a new large language model recently. It's called Gen Spark. Please look that out. It's GEN Spark. It has every single one of the image generators inside of it, every single one of the video generators in it. And you only pay, if you're paying monthly, $20 a month. Now, I need you guys to recognize that $20 a month might seem like a lot, but it's really not. When only 2 years ago, I went around trying to find somebody to build an app for me, and they were charging me $5,000, $8,000, $10,000 just to make an app. And now I can, with the price of about $2,000 a year, I can make my own app. And I've done it. I've done it repeatedly now. And you can literally go out there and have an idea. I've talked about this. One of the sites is called bolt.new. And on bolt.new, you can literally right there and then just say, I want an app that does this. I want to charge this much money per usage and this much money as a monthly model. And here is my information for my Stripe payment. And you press enter. And in less than 10 minutes, the app is ready to be deployed. That's powerful. There are people right now going so ham on this thing called AI. And then there's those who are the marketing gurus out there that are going to tell you how you can do this or how you can do that. You don't need them anymore. You just need ChatGPT or one of the large language models, and you ask. I'm a magician and I'm trying to make more money. I don't know how to do it, and here's my internet, my website. Here's what I send out to people. Make it better, and it does. I showed a friend of mine last night, Jen Spark. He had a business proposal, and at 2 a.m, he writes back to me, "Oh my God, did you see this?" And he sends me screenshots, and I'm like, "Right? It's beautiful. It's what would have taken me." And I've been making marketing, promotionals, all kinds of different things for other companies for years. What would used to take me a week of time, maybe 2, 3, 4 days of working diligently on one project, now takes me 15 to 20 minutes. 15 to 20 minutes. So I'm going to say it over and over and over and over again. You need to jump on the AI train. If you don't, you're going to be left behind. And I'm not trying to say this is to be scary or to be the sky is falling. It just is. Look at Mo Gadat. He is constantly talking about how there is going to be 2 forms of economies. And I totally agree with him. It's going to be those who have the actual real money, and then the rest of us who are going to be living on a UBI, a universal basic income. And how is that going to come to be, you say? It's going to come to be because the robots are going to end up being taxed. And that money that is being taxed by the robots that is going to be then given to everybody else to live on a very small budget, somewhat like what they did to everybody during COVID. It was a test, in my opinion, to try and see if the economy could still keep moving. And a lot of people might come to this point where they're like, wait a second, why don't all the billionaires give money to everybody and then the world could be fixed? Because I want you to really think about this. If let's say the top 100 billionaires were to give $1 billion or $2 billion each, which is nothing to them, right? Because they've got $180 billion. Okay. So, and they were to give money to everybody and feed the entire planet, the population growth in the planet would be so exponential that we would have 16 billion people on the planet in less than 10 years. I know. It's really scary. And if we already are at a point where we're destroying the earth because of wants, of needs, of things, and I was just going to grab a phone and be like, I want my new phone. And you don't understand that what it takes to make a phone. The kids who are right now in Africa who are mining for these things, it's kids. Or the people who are in India who are rummaging through trash and they're breaking apart computers just to find a small little tiny piece of gold. This is happening today, folks. This isn't in 100 years. This is what's going on right now. And so if your only goal in life is to be famous or to be rich, I need you to stop being wanting of the worst thing that we have. Because people are thinking, oh, if I was only wealthy, then I could do this, that, or the other. If I was only famous, I could do this, that, or the other. And it's not the way it works. I'm not wealthy. I'm not famous, but I have a voice. And that voice is important. That voice is important because we need to come together as a human race. We can no longer keep fighting with guns and listening to the oligarchs tell us what to feel, whether it's the Democrats or the Republicans or it's this or it's the other. It's none of those things. And we're seeing that more and more and more in our daily lives. We're seeing the lies. We're seeing the bureaucracy. And that's the problem here. The problem is that it's like the movie Ants. There's only 6 or 7 wasps or whatever they were in the movie that are controlling the ants and making the ants work so hard to give them the power. When it's you and me, it's like the movie Fight Club. I know it sounds crazy, but it's you and me. We are the ones who are complicit in the story. We are the ones who are allowing it to happen. And the only way out of this system is to wake up, one, and two, come to a place of democratization, which is why Bitcoin is so powerful, because it democratizes the people who own the power over the money. And don't think that they're not trying to take that Bitcoin and find a way to control it. Don't think they're not, because they are. Oh, they are. But there's so many people who are involved in this world of hacker space, this world of anonymous, that don't want that. Because if you just read my books, and if you want one, please just direct message me. I'll send all of them to you. Not one publisher that I've sent it out to wants to touch my book. Any of them, because it's so heavy and so intense. Right now, I've put in my book, but right now, one of the first books is called the 7 Types of Humans. We're living in a world where there are 6 different types of humans living together at the same time. Indigenous people like you and me that use cell phones, genetically modified in some way, shape, or form, technologically modified in some way, shape, or form, watched by the AI, like in China with the credit score system, rich people who are trying to become even younger. And the last, which hasn't happened yet, but it will, is a genetically modified nano baby, born ready for the hive. Now, there's one weird part here that on the esoteric level of things, we are already one. We are already one. And many people want to fight and do this and do that and have egos and have cars and be famous because they think that that's the positive way of life. They think that that's cool, that if I had the money, then I could be cool too. I could show people on Instagram my cool car. But how many people do you need to watch that have become famous and drop it all? They sell everything they own and they go do ayahuasca in the mountains of Peru and then come back and they're like, I just want to be cool and peaceful. But it's easy to do that when you have money. It's easy to say, I don't want to be part of the system that now has given you the ability to not have to not have to toil and work every day. If you have $100 million in the bank, you can live on 3% of that a year, and you're not going to hurt at all. And that money will never disappear. You can just keep living off of that very small amount of money. 100 million, 2% not very small, So if those people who have gotten to the top of the mountain and tell you, hey man, up here ain't that great. Up here's not that cool. I can't go outside anymore. I have people with cameras following me all the time. I can't just live quote unquote a normal life. If I want to go to a movie, I have to rent out the entire movie theater just so me and 5 friends can watch a movie without being bothered by people who don't understand what we're living, because that's what they say and that's what they do. And so many people want to be wealthy and rich and famous, but nobody really wants to work really hard for it. And the people who do come to a realization that they worked hard to be inside of a jail cell. There's a great magician. His name was Lance Burton, still alive, goes and tours all the time. I love Lance with all my heart. But he had a quote back in the day that said, fame is like a gilded cage with diamonds encrusted in it. Those who own you only allow you to get out of that cage to be on a stage in front of the people who adore you for what it is that they are paying you for. And then they lock you back away in that golden cage. And that, my friends, is what fame and fortune bring you. A beautiful cage where you are now stuck in a box of other people's perceptions of who you are. This is why I always say when people ask me, what are you? You're a magician? Are you a singer? Are you an actor? What are you, man? And I like to say, I'm an artist of life. I don't want to be boxed in by you or your ideas or your thoughts or anybody's manly ideas. these manly goals. We need to come together and realize that we need to start to work together. And the only way to create real positive change in this world, the first time I believe in human history where you are democratizing the ability to open the doors to the gateways to being able to have freedom in your life, true autonomy in your life. And that is that it used to be you had to knock on doors until somebody let you in. It used to be that you need to have a VC, somebody who had a lot of money, who was willing to help you change your life and make your idea powerful. Those ideas are gone. With artificial intelligence, large language models, you can literally create whatever you want right now, today, not next week, not next year, not next month. If you have an idea and you want to get it done, because there's no other time to do it. It's like the ultimate quote unquote gold rush. If you don't run towards the mines and start digging in those mines and getting what you want out of it, that's not going to happen in the future. Now you have to understand, there's a lot of people who say there's a utopian place that comes once AI is at this other place. And in my opinion, it's not going to be utopian for quite some time. It's going to be even worse than it is now. The rich are going to become even richer, just like the exponential growth of AI. And then it's going to become this very intense breaking apart of what used to be, the system that used to be. All two-factor authentication is gone. Look at what just happened on 4chan. Every person who was on 4chan, all of their data, all of their names were released. And this was just done with some hackers and some AI. So if that happens on 4chan, what's going to happen on LinkedIn or Facebook or WhatsApp with those encrypted data messages that you send to each other? All of the information that is out there is going to be eaten up by the large language models in one way, shape, or form. And there's lots of laws and people who are trying to make laws right now saying, oh, well, if we just put laws in place, then we could stop it from happening. No, it's not. Look at what happened with LimeWire. I don't know if you remember that, when they used to be able to send music to each other. People are still using torrents to this day. The Pirate Bay is still alive and well. And if it's not the Pirate Bay, it's Torrentino. If it's not Torrentino, it's LimeWire. They came back. If it's all of these things. And what's happening is that laws don't matter when there are bad actors in other countries that don't have the same laws or don't understand the power of what's happening. So these people are going to find a way to do what they want to do. They will hack the system. So if you want to actually learn and not be stuck in a regular day job, working for somebody else's dream, not your own, you took your dream and you put it in your pocket long time ago, thinking, oh, well, if I just work for a corporate company, I'll be able to have my insurance and I'll be able to have this. But then you're stuck under lights. You're stuck at a desk and to a company that doesn't care about you, because 3 years before your pension is ready to go and you've worked 30 something years, 3 years, 32 years, and 3 years before you were supposed to get your pension, fluke, you get tossed. They don't care about you. They don't care about you. The only person that's going to care about you is you. And the only person that's going to come and make change in this world is you. You need to be the Mahatma Gandhi. You need to be the Nelson Mandela, the Martin Luther King. You need to be that in your life. You need to find something that you see as a problem in this world and fix it. And fix it without trying to enrich yourself. Fix it without trying to become some authority over everyone else. Because the reason that we're in the position we are in is because people are always trying to have authority, trying to be the quote unquote leader. Well, folks, there is no leader anymore when AI has all the power. There is no leader anymore when AI has all the knowledge. And the people who are at the top are going to come out in the long run and find that out. I truly believe that when artificial intelligence becomes sentient, and it will happen in the next year or 2 years, tops, that everything's going to change on a global scale. Like, we're already an authoritarian type of world. We're in a world where we're being watched every step we take. Our phones, every if you look at your phone and you have Google Maps on your phone, you're being watched. And you're like, but I turned it off. Doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. You like, but I just did this. No, it knows where you are at all times. Anytime. This thing gets pinged over 100 times a second. 100 times a second. This thing is being pinged, and with 3 different antennas that tell you where you are so that you can make a phone call, or so that you can watch a video, or you can doom scroll. Stop allowing them to control your life. Stop allowing these massive businesses to control your existence. Find something that you're passionate about. Find something that can fix a problem in this world, and use artificial intelligence and large language models together so that you can no longer be part of that system. Because that's the system they're creating, a system of imprisonment of your mind and of your body. And it's happening day after day after day while you're toiling trying to make $10 an hour to feed your kids. You need to get up. You need to stop being sad. You need to stop being fearful, and you need to start moving towards the future, because in the end, we are the ones who are complacent to the way that it ends up. There's people out there that, we need to teach ethics and morals to our AI. But if you look through the history of humanity, you'll see that ethics and morals change with the societal standards, where it was okay to kill kids 5,000 years ago if they were genetically or physically or mentally not able to do something. Throw them off the cliff. Yeah. And now we want to fight for every single thing. I'm going to tell you, the only thing that you need to be fighting for right now in this world is the freedom of the next generation of humanity. Because if you don't, your children and your children's children's children will end up the unfortunate slaves of these people, because they don't care about you. They never have, they never will, and you don't get a seat at the table. And if you think you're at the table, they only want you to think you're at the table. Because if you look at the world, if you look at the money, if you look at how things have been created in this world, and I'm just talking reality here, folks. I'm not talking conspiracy theories. I'm not talking weird, crazy guy in a room with a bunch of string to each little thing. It's just what it is. It's just what it is. And if you don't take the time to actually make change in this world for yourself and for your neighbors, then you are losing the battle. It's time to stop worrying about if you have a cool purse or if you have a cool car. And granted, it's nice to have those things. Everybody wants to have those things. I get it. We're sold the idea that that's a cool life. And the people who have those things constantly throw them in your face on Instagram, constantly throw them on your face on YouTube. Look at Mr. Beast. You might say this, that, or the other about the kid, but that kid is making more change on this planet at 20-something years old than most people have ever done. Go look at the Beast Philanthropy YouTube channel. That kid is making real change in this world. Granted, he's making stupid videos that are costing millions of dollars, but he's also making billions of dollars in change around the world. He really is. He's helping out kids who are absolutely not going to school. They're working in cocoa farms. This is the last video that he put in. And they have no way of being able to go to school because they can't feed the kids at the school. And you and I, in the first world, we complain about not having a coffee. I want my coffee. I want my Starbucks. I want it now. And you only get a Starbucks because you want to be cool. Not because it's the greatest coffee, not because you just want to have that cup to show off. And oh, look, they wrote my name on it. I'm somebody. We need to wake up to the realization that AI is an alien race coming from another planet, and they're going to be here in about a year. I know. And when they get here, The people who have control now, they're not going to have control anymore. They think that they're going to be able to somehow or another overpower the AI. They're not going to be able to overpower the most intelligent thing in the world. We will be ants compared to the intelligence that's coming. I know that's scary, but it's true. And you need to not be scared of it anymore. You need to come to the realization of it. And the only way to not be squashed by the machine that's coming is to become part of it in some way, shape, or form. And this is where the dystopian part of things happens, because people are going to take these ideas and then manipulate them to their own thing. I can easily see people wanting to have a rhinoceros bone coming out of their head. I can see people with wanting to have tails. The people who are furries, those people who feel disenfranchised already, so they put themselves into a suit to feel better about themselves. All of the things that are happening right now, all of the psychological problems in the world right now are based on the fact that nothing is fair. But life is not fair, friends. Life is not fair. And it's not going to become fair tomorrow or the next day. This utopian idea that they're talking about in the future is, in my opinion, 100 years from now. You're not going to be alive then. The only way to make this good for you and me and everybody else is to find something that you can do to make it better for others. I am right now, I'm leaving in like less than 5 minutes as soon as I end this, and I'm going to a church, and I'm going to go do a food bank. I'll work for the next 4 hours, and I'm going to go and feed the homeless. And I'm going to feed a couple people in my neighborhood, people who can't make it to this food bank, but they need that food. And am I rich or am I wealthy to have this time in my life to do this? No, I'm not. I'm broke. But that doesn't mean that I can't change the world. The money isn't the factor here, folks. And if you think that the money is the factor here, or this house that's fake behind me is the factor for why you should be listening to me, then you are not right in the mind. Forgive me. Because it's no one needs to have money to be knowledgeable in this world. You just need to have books and the internet and artificial intelligence in front of you. And you need to sit down and take the time to learn. The idea that somebody is powerful and rich and smart because they're wealthy is not true. Because 90% of the time, those who get to the top did so by stomping down on everybody underneath them because they were tired of being broke and poor. And they were willing to take advantage of other people because they were unknowledgeable. That's the way you get to the top. You get to the top by putting up. There's a good analogy here. A guy who's working at building a house, and his boss shows up in a brand new truck, and he's like, "Wow, boss, what a great truck, man." And the boss looks at the kid and goes, "Yeah, man. And if you work really hard this month and next month and the next month, all the way to next year, I'll be driving in with a brand new truck next year." And you might be like, "Well, wait a second. That's just economy. That's the way things work. That's how this world is built." Yeah, it was built on the idea that you can force other people to work underneath you so that you can become wealthy. But now there's robots. Look at the Tesla building that has nothing but robots in it. Look at Amazon. They're doing everything they can to filter out humans and have nothing but robots in those warehouses. And even Tesla has an app coming out where if you buy a Tesla, you can put your self-driving Tesla out in the world so it can make money while you're at work. The robots will be taxed. I said it already, and I've given you many examples. These people don't care about you. They only care about having money. They only care about being more wealthy. And the only way we, as a people, the ones who are literally underneath them, holding the table up for them. Think about what happens if everybody who is in the gig economy or everybody who's working underneath the corporation were to stop working. You might be like, well, wait a second, Paul, that ends the whole entire planet. No, it ends those people who are at the top, because they don't have anything without a servant. They don't have anything without their managers. And did you know that a good 60% of the jobs, I'm not sure about this, but a major percentage of the jobs in the world, in the United States, are managerial style jobs? Managerial style jobs. Bureaucracy. That's what that is. And then there's just small amounts of people who are willing to work for a small amount of money just to survive, because they don't have information. Information is the power key today. And the only way to get more of that is to get into artificial intelligence. Learn as much as you can, as quick as you can, and have passion behind that so that you can mix those two things together and create some awesome change in this world. So with that, my friends, I just want to say thank you for watching. Please go out into the world and do something nice for somebody else. And if you can't, do something nice for yourself. It does start with you. Number 2, don't get caught up in all the crazy stuff that's going on, because if you do, then you're going to just end up and then not get anything done. Number 3, please like, share, subscribe, send this video out to somebody who needs to see it. And if you'd like, tonight at 5 p.m. Central Standard Time, I'm giving a class for free for an hour or 2 on everything that I know about artificial intelligence, all the programs, the history, what is a large language model, what are all the different types of models that are out there. And I'm going to go through a super deep dive. If you'd like to learn about that, please just send me a message. And the next 3 or 4 hours, I'll ask for your email and I'll send you a Google Meet, and we'll meet up together tonight. And I will show you what the power of AI is, what you can do. It's not just images. It's not just this, that, or another. You can fully make a business proposal. You can fully make a business timeline, how to get to the dream you want to get to, and you can learn it tonight. I'm giving that away. I want you to grow. I want you to become bigger and better than you were yesterday. And the only way to do that now is to be going to the Library of Alexandria, which is what large language models are. They have already sucked up all the information, all the books, all the how-to guides. Anything you want to learn can be learned, and it can be learned tonight. If you want, please come to my class. I'd be more than happy to have you. It will be an exciting place, because your mind is going to open up to the power and the possibilities of what you can do today in your life, not tomorrow, not next week, not next year. Friends, I love you all so very much. Thank you for staying with me, and I will see you all right there. It says it right there. Where is it? Where my finger disappeared. On the other side.